Welcome to Peter's podcast, where we talk about real yoga, actual happiness, and deep living. Thanks for joining me. Hello, Naomi Edwards.
Hello.
So good to see you.
So good to see you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Well, we've talked before, but for anybody who's tuning in who hasn't met you before, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I am also a yoga teacher, and I have an Ayurvedic product line. So I also do aromatherapy and herbalism. So I beautifully synergized all of these modalities that I love, and my practice is out of my home, and I work privately. And it's been such an amazing journey, being able to work with people one on one and really create bespoke healing guidance and programs for my clients and loved ones.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And as I recall, you did a fair amount of your Ayurveda training during
Yes.
COVID. So you've been working with people on Zoom since the beginning of this chapter.
Yes,
And so do you do a fair amount of that still?
I do, but it's been so much nicer to be in person, because we
Yeah.
did learn how to take distant pulse, which was fascinating, and it still blows my mind when that actually happens and pops up. But it's so much nicer to be able to sit with somebody and actually assess the pulse and look at the tongue a little bit better in person. So yeah, it's Zoom has been helpful for those moments of what we had where we had to get through as practitioners, and I'm grateful for it. But it's been so nice to come back to being in person with people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have the same thing with teaching,
Right.
and it's been a delight to be in rooms with people, but so many people enjoyed stop pausing whatever they were doing to take yoga class from their home
Yes.
and then go back to what they're doing, that a fair number of people still do that in the hybrid classes that we offer. Plus people who are not
Right.
local can come and take classes, and that's really wonderful for them and wonderful for us to see
Right.
them.
Yeah. And it's been such a beautiful way to like open up, yeah, our teaching, our classes, and taking it. I do have some people that I see that are international, which is so cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of international and other
Mm,
such things, when we decided to get together to chat, we were talking about the kind of two major things that are coming together to create a lot of instability right
mm,
now. And one is international and national affairs, and the other is that, Ayurvedically speaking, we're moving into a new season.
yeah.
And in our Western calendar, that season is called spring.
Yeah.
And we just came out of winter into spring, but Ayurveda only has 3 seasons.
Right.
So there's a little bit more, I don't know, I think of it as complexity, even
Yes.
though it's a smaller number, there's a complexity to what's going on. So I
Absolutely.
know you said that in your own practice, you've been dealing with people a lot in terms of these two kinds of transitions. So what's your sort of big picture
Yes.
of what's happening?
Yes. So you're right. We have these 3 seasons, but then within that, there's like the early stage of moving into the season, and then there's the thick being in it fully. So we're coming into kapha, and if you think about coming out of hibernation, there's like the wet winter. So there's the soft blossoming of the flowers and plants, and same within our bodies. It's like we're awakening out of this long, standing of keeping ourselves warm and surviving through the cold. And also, you know, we've been maybe eating a little heavier. So there's a couple of things that we might be feeling at this time, and I always know when it's kapha because it's a little bit harder to get out of bed in the morning. Like it's like I just want to sleep just a tiny bit more. So there's this a little bit of that sluggishness, but then this percolating feeling of this change coming because the light is changing and we start to want to move our bodies differently. We want to eat differently. So, yeah, to your point, the early start of kapha is kind of like getting the car out of the ditch, trying to just get
Out
ourselves.
of the
Yeah,
mud.
exactly. Like just finding those little moments of where we can make those changes and tweaks in our lifestyle. And I love how we have our constitutions in Ayurveda, but we also have all of the doshas within us. And there might be something in this moment that might be a little bit louder than our actual constitution. So yes, for me, it's a little bit of that heavy sluggishness of kapha because kapha is the element of the water and earth. So it's that like dense, wet, cold heaviness. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to provide a contrast for anybody who's not so up on their
Mm,
Ayurveda, we've just come out of the vata
yep.
season, which talks about two others of the five elements that we deal with
Yes.
in yoga, right? Earth,
Yeah.
water, fire, air,
Yes.
space. So when we come out of vata, we've been more influenced by the wind, the
Totally.
air, and space,
Yes.
like an emptiness, or
Yes.
like all the life has dropped out of the plants around
Yep.
us, for instance.
Exactly. And there's this dryness. And now we're coming into this wet part of winter. And you'll notice there might be just different types of allergies and colds. There might be more fluids happening because we're releasing all the things from the vata time. So yeah, it's a good moment to start to just be aware of how your body's changing and how you can adjust the things in your life to take care of it at this time. And kapha, within the energy of the body, it's all of our it's our lubrication and it's the structure. So if there's excessive mucus or lubrication, we need to do things to get that kapha moving out and about. Yeah. Mhm.
And the kinds of things that you prescribe for doing that
Yes.
are what?
So
Like
yeah,
general types
yeah.
of
So
things?
I I love, movement, of course. And I think where it's this fine dance, right? Because we have the energies changing and we don't want to go too aggressively too fast, but nice rhythmic movement. That's why yoga is such a beautiful prescribed, you know sister science of Ayurveda, and it just provides all of the things we need. So even in my practice, I've been doing more kriyas and quicker breaths and breaths to kind of move that stagnant energy, and not like a crazy fast flow, but like that nice rhythmic movement to get the body into that place of awakening and releasing any of the stagnant, stuck heaviness of kapha.
So where we might have liked having like more restorative during the hibernation season, now it's
Yes.
time to start moving a little.
Yes, exactly. And then with
Mhm.
our foods, if you're, I have been experiencing a little bit more congestion in the morning. So one of my favorite things to do is this. I make a ginger and lime elixir, and I can give you the recipe here. But it's really nice because the two are like such a strong expectorant. So it'll get the digestive system awakened, and then it'll also move out any of the congested um, mucus or extra fluids within the sinus cavities, which is really nice. Yeah.
Mm, awesome.
Routine.
Everybody's saying, what is the recipe?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, it's I grate fresh ginger, probably like a big tablespoon of it. And then
Mm.
I squeeze about half of a lime, and I'll add a little bit of water. So it's like a shot. You're going to take a full shot of it, and you can add a little bit of honey and turmeric if you like, and then you just down the hatch. Yeah. Mm.
Mm. You strain it.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I'll have that
That'll wake
tomorrow.
you up. And it'll also get your digestion moving because it's a really good time to look
Good
at
thing.
that. Sometimes during this time of year, because in the winter we tend to store more things, our gut might be a little more sluggish. So that's a really good elixir to start to, get things moving, awakening the gut. Yeah.
Cool. Um, Great. So after that little
Hmm.
recipe sideline, you were about to say something else
I
about other
Yes.
practices.
So I also, with routine, it's a good time to
Mm.
start to you switch up your routine a little bit. So as much as I want to sleep a little bit more, I've been trying to get up with the sun. So just awakening
Mm.
myself a little bit earlier, doing my practice in the morning to get the energy going for the day. And I would say, yeah, just moving into spring in such a way that's not forcing or rushing yourself, but even when we're looking at our foods and what we're eating throughout the day, we're starting to crave different foods, and so it's good to start to look at what's happening seasonally, and that will kind of guide you into, oh, this is in season. Yeah, maybe my body wants to have more of this now, rather than the heavier carbohydrates that we've been, keeping ourselves warm through winter. Yeah.
Hmm. So, given that the season transition times are
Hmm.
different in the Ayurvedic system, you mentioned there's like a beginning and then there's the full fledged, and then
Yes.
I imagine there's a kind of a crossover into the
Exactly.
pizza
Yes.
season.
Yes.
So how do we recognize where we are across that beginning to middle?
Absolutely. That's a really good question. I would say that feeling of this sluggishness, this like dense, wet winter part of winter we're in, this is like the awakening of moving into the kapha and doing the things to start to shift routine, diet, and how we're moving. And then when we're in full spring, you can feel that full energy of like, I don't need a jacket anymore. Your mood is different. It's more of an uplifted,
Hmm.
joyful time. And there's also allergies. So like environmentally that's changing too. And you might have a little bit more of congestion and sneezing happening, but that's it's all part of the movement of spring and those changes happening. But when we're in the thick of kapha, yeah, you do feel that uplifted mood, that shift of energy. And kapha, I mean, Kapha people are very jovial. There's a sweetness. They're very calm. They're very chill. They're very grounded. So it's nice to kind of move into this spring, but with that rhythmic chill, so to speak. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because we like the earth element that so defines the kapha, we think about it as being still or
right,
stuck,
right.
but but the kapha is also the life of
Yeah,
things, right? The fecundity of
absolutely.
new growth
Yes.
and
Yeah.
everything emerging.
Yep.
So both parts are
Yep.
there.
Yeah. And that's what we need to
Interesting.
be aware of, when you can feel when kapha is out of balance, because um, it's almost like that density can like make a heaviness that pulls you down. So when kapha is out of balance, there's a you're feeling lethargic, or there's excessive fluids or weight, or that sluggishness, but that sluggishness that's like bringing you down. And
Like a depression
yeah,
almost.
and speaking to what you were saying earlier, we're in such a heavy time, so it is a good time to be really aware and um, nurturing for yourself during this time as we come through this heavier part of winter. So really looking for the things that are going to bring you that lightness, that warmth, that the ojas, you know, the
Yeah.
vitality.
Let's talk more about Ojas in a minute,
Yeah.
because I wanted to note that you use this word heavy about the time we're
Mm,
in, and I I think that people reacting to world events
yeah.
and domestic events are having a combination of reactions. On the one hand,
Yeah.
it's the anxiety and maybe the vata
Yes.
of
Yes.
fear, etc. And then it's also the heaviness, like, oh my God, what can I do? It's more
Yes.
coming, and it just keeps coming. And that is very heavy.
Yes.
At the
It's
same time, you have this anxiety going on.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's this push pull. It's this, and I think when those two doshas are out of whack, so to speak, that's a real um, issue, uh, because they're so polar, they're so opposite, and it can be so intense. So yes, there's this exact, you nailed it. So I think as light workers, we have a lot of work to do, and you could really feel it, that people are so in need of these practices. And yeah, I also have been, I'm so thankful that we have these practices to take care of myself, so that we could be there to take care of others. And that that heaviness, that um, disruption of our ojas, like our inner compass, that gives us that contentment, the peace, that joy. It's like it's been so lost. Yeah.
In case there's a blip in continuity here, we just had a little technical difficulty, but I wanted to say a lot of what I'm listening to from various quarters right now
Mm.
implies that things are going to stay unsettled, or even if they get
Right.
resolved somehow, there's going to be a long transition out of whatever's going on right now. So
Oh yeah.
we have to be well for the long haul in order to create whatever is coming, whatever is new.
Yes.
And so this notion of taking care of oneself is really important. It's a little
Mm.
bit of that, like, put on your mask on the airplane before you try to help someone else. Um,
Exactly.
but then you do get to help someone else.
Right.
But
Right.
And so this really gets at this thing that you've mentioned a couple times in passing, which is ojas. And ojas is a way
Mm.
that we think about a kind of a life support system. So maybe you can
Yes.
elaborate on what you're
Yeah.
saying here.
Yeah, first of all, it's one of my favorite words in Ayurveda. It's such a beautiful word to say,
Yeah.
and it means something really beautiful. It's our vitality. It's our prana. It's the life force. It's the radiance, that inner glow, that when you see someone with good ojas, their eyes are bright. There's a calmness, there's a joy, there's a comfort around them. And it permeates through the whole body. It's when we have good digestion, when our sleep is aligned, when we feel just balanced fully. And we get that through the way we go about the world, the way we go about our day. And I think right now it's crucial to be more aware of finding that vitality for you. And for all of us, it's not the same, because Ayurveda, of course, is about the individual, and what works for you might not work for me. But where one can start to build their ojas is to look at the things in their life every day that might be causing them depletion, or that sadness, or bringing them into that heaviness. I, for one, had to take pause and do less of consuming things visually through social media, and the way that I've been finding information about what's happening, and then seeing what I can digest, and what I can't, and where I would need to take breaks, and where I need to keep my light strong and bright for myself and then for others. And yeah, so sorry, I went off on a tangent, but yeah, ojas is this um, vitality that we have in the body, and it's appreciation, it's joy, it's love. And when it's depleted, it's Ayurveda has these like lists, and I'll send you the list. It's like these principles of what boosts ojas and what depletes ojas. And it's like simple things like hurrying, which is I always laugh when I see that. But yes, hurrying can deplete your ojas. It makes you stressed out, and it makes your nervous system all, woo, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things. And of course, stress. They talk a lot about it talks a lot about negativity. So like when we're speaking negatively, when we're consuming things that are negative, when we're around negative environments, negative people, that will take our ojas away. Poor sleep, poor diet, the things that we know. But it's really, I think we're in more of a challenging time right now to commit to gravitating to the things that are going to be nourishing us and taking care of us. It's like
Yeah, I've
we've
been
lost our inner compass for that. Yeah.
right, right. I've been focusing a lot, I think, on the the periodic reset way
Yes.
of dealing with that, because we can only go, I mean, unless you're going to go
Mm,
be an ostrich, right?
right.
You have to deal with this stuff. It's coming
Yes.
up. And it's almost I don't I don't know what the perfect word is, but
Mm.
we have a responsibility to take care of what's going
Yeah.
on at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we also won't be effective at anything if we allow ourselves to get so far
Yes.
overburdened that we can't operate. So,
Yes.
the way I've been talking about it a lot in class is that we need to figure out what is the balance between the engaging and the
Yeah.
time for reset and restore, so that we
Mm.
can engage again in a way that's effective again and doesn't
Yes.
take us down.
Yes.
So it's like, and it seems to me that that goes along quite well with this notion of like maintaining one's ojas,
Yep.
right? Finding the way
Exactly.
to do that. You have to know you're going to deplete it some, but
Mm-hmm.
if you know how to stay in a range that you can be resilient,
Yes.
then you're as golden as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Easier said than done, but it's a
Yeah, but I
practice.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit
Yeah.
like when Arjuna is in the Bhagavad Gita and he's got to go fight a war tomorrow,
Yes.
and
Yes.
his notion is, well, let me just not do that, and Krishna
Right.
says, I'm sorry, you've got to go fight.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
we have to do it, but we have to know like how can we sustain ourselves?
Yes. Yeah. I think there's a lot of external, um, like things happening, and a lot of external grabbing for things. And I have been trying to guide my loved ones and clients to sitting with yourself, closing your eyes and going inside, because it is really scary to sit still right now.
Hmm.
To sit with it all and to just let it marinate, whatever's there, you know. Um but yeah, the practices that we need exactly what you're saying, because we have to be here and show up.
Yeah.
um and then we also have to find those uh rituals and practices for us to nourish and take care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
you said it earlier, and I've said it even in class, since there was a fair number of yoga teachers who listen to this
Mm.
podcast. Like, thus showing up is
Yeah.
one of the ways I use to keep myself balanced. I can't go
Yes.
in and be utterly depressed and
Oh, yeah.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
even though sometimes going in I am. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like a call to pull yourself up
Yes. Yeah.
into a more balanced place
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
without this the depletion, right?
Right. Right.
So,
And each day is different. It's like
hmm,
when we get on the mat, it's a different thing. You know?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's I'm trying to also be with myself in such a way to have patience with myself, because it's going to show up the way it shows up sometimes. And yeah, and we have those tools to show up for who we need to at that time and put on the hat. But yeah, um we're in a really strange time.
hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. So,
Mm.
could you share a few more of the things off of your list, or things that you use in order to
Yeah.
keep your ojas strong?
Yes. So my dinacharya, my daily Ayurvedic routine, the rituals that you can do morning and night, is a godsend. It's just like having little self-care moments for you in that morning, in that meditative time, to set you up for the day and then to put you to bed at night. So in the morning, I oil pull, scrape the tongue, dry brush, oil my body, um, meditate. And some of these things come all together at once, and then some things I do one or two, but there's always one or two at least that I'll be doing that I know that it it sets my nervous system up for the day, and it just
Hmm.
feels really good. I don't grab my phone in the morning. That my phone is not in my room. I don't sleep with that in the room. Um, all of the worldly noise is later. um, yeah, I
Hmm.
try to enjoy the sunset. I do have coffee. My
Hmm.
husband makes fresh coffee. We ground the beans. That's a ritual
Hmm.
in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a quieter time in the morning. And then in the evening time, I love the Ayurvedic warm the oils on the feet, massaging the feet, um, warm teas, meditation. Yeah, so I those little rituals that I've made for myself to bookend the days have just been. If I don't have that, I really feel like, yeah, you just don't feel as peaceful, as calm.
Yeah.
Um,
When you talk about oils for the feet at night, is this like,
mhm.
is that a helpful thing for people who maybe have difficulty falling asleep?
Yes. So I wonder if I could send you a little video of how to do the Ayurvedic foot massage for yourself.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it has helped many of my clients and loved ones for sleep. Yeah. And it's just
Hmm.
like a very simple massage along the arches of the feet, because that connects to all the major organs, and then in between the toes where we just get all that tension and tightness. And you could put on a pair of socks and let the oils kind of seep in for bed, or and it protects your sheets as well. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
massaging the feet is a wonderful way to help calm the nervous system down, and it's a wonderful routine to do before sleep to have that deep sleep. Yeah.
Great. So
Um,
I know that one of your specialties is to develop oils.
yes,
So
I do. I
can you talk a
do.
little bit about that process and maybe
Yes.
share, if you
Hmm.
want, one of the foot oils you use?
Yes. So I have a Ayurvedic body serum, and it has the base oils. The carriers are sesame and argan, which are super hydrating. Sesame is a little warming for the body, but argan is also cooling. So if you have a little more pitta going on, it balances out that dosha. And then the essential oils in there are rose geranium, frankincense, blue tansy, and lavender, which are all tridoshic. They're calming, they're cooling, and they're also bringing uplift.
Mm.
And so you can use this body oil for the feet. It's very luxurious. It smells amazing. You could use it for the whole body. And I also have had clients that love it for the face. So it's like it's a all in one.
I think you
But
sent me some of that.
oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Oh, I'm
Not
glad
to
you
eat,
like
but
it.
the
Yeah,
smell and the
yeah.
feel.
Well, you
Yes.
you could eat it. Yeah. It would be safe because there's no chemicals, there's no preservatives. It's just the oils, it's just the plants. And
Mhm.
when I did, so I learned all of my training of how to make Ayurvedic products. The ritual, you usually play healing mantras, which I do, and you set an intention for the product that you're making for somebody, even if it's for yourself. And then of course all of the plants and herbs that I source are from good sources, farmers doing the right thing, and so the bottle has a lot of love in there. And I learned most of the product making from working under Pratima. So she used to have a spa in Soho, and she always taught me if you're putting something on your skin that you can't put in your mouth, you probably shouldn't put it on your skin. I mean, it's our largest organ. We need to take care of it. So, yeah. Um, and if you don't have my oil, you can just, use a simple sesame oil that's refined. You don't want to smell like uh, food. Even though that happens sometimes. But when you go to Whole Foods, you could find a body oil that's just the sesame oil or fractionated coconut oil for the foot massage or body.
Okay, again,
Yeah.
fumbling with our tech here. So you mentioned Pitta and
Hmm.
Vata and Kapha, the three doshas, and were talking about oils and carrier oils. So
Hmm.
is there any concern? Because I know sometimes we use, for Vata conditions, we'll use a sesame oil, but that might be overheating for someone who's more Pitta. Is that
Yes.
something to be worried about with massaging your feet as you're describing?
Sure. And again, the most famous thing Ayurvedic practitioners always say, it all depends. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think if you have a lot of pitta and heat going on and you warm up, and sometimes with the feet, that could be heating. So yeah, you'll want to use a coconut oil because that'll be a little more cooling. Coconut oil, argan, even an olive oil is really nice and
Okay.
hydrating. Yeah.
Cool.
But I would say sesame, yeah, it's really good for vata, great for kapha, and when it's mixed with other cooling oils, it's good for pitta. Yeah.
Cool. So only if you're feeling like overheating, which could mean like
Yeah.
even annoyance or anger or
Right.
something,
Right.
then
Yes. That
back off
irritability.
using.
Yes. If your
Yeah.
fire is high, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You want the
Cool.
cooling ones. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And while our tech is still working, the one thing I wanted
Yes.
to let you talk some more about is food.
Yes. So
So,
while we're coming into kapha, this is the time to start to reset. the gut, reset the body. And as I was saying before, you're going to feel more inspired to change up your diet.
Hmm.
And food is, and again, we're all different. So, it's not about just eating like a kaphic diet because we're in kapha season. Ayurveda, as we know, it works in nuances and there's complexities, and there might be a dosha that's showing up right now that, like you were saying, if the body is heated and you have a lot of pitta going on, kapha spices aren't going to work for you because they're very invigorating and they could be very heating. So you'll want to put cooling spices and herbs with those other kapha spices and herbs if you're going down that route of looking into kapha recipes.
Yeah.
But
So
I would
all
say,
this conversation is like generally speaking, but
yes,
you should see a Ayurvedic practitioner for
yes,
your
come
own
see me and
personal
we'll
stuff.
talk about things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my favorite meal of this time of year to do a proper detox, I use that word lightly because I feel in Western culture, detox, cleanse, diet, those words can come with a heaviness. So
Yes.
I always like to say Ayurveda, when we're doing things to reset or we're using food to clean, everything is working in such a way that's like loving. It's helping the body. It's not going against it, and it's not trying to do something aggressive or extreme, which I think is also a hard thing for us to understand.
Yes.
It's like,
We're very
wait,
impatient.
is it that simple? Yes, it is. And you're allowed to eat and you're allowed to do things that are kind for yourself and heal. So kitchery is one of my favorite meals, and you don't just have to have it for a reset. You could have it at any time. So it's a whole protein. It's mung bean and so dal and rice, and then you can put a different array of spices that works for you. But generally, the I would say the core spices in it are usually turmeric, ginger, cumin, coriander, and fennel. And those are all working together to balance out all the doshas because they're heating, they're invigorating, they're calming and cooling. Um, and you can do kitchery 3 days, you could do it 5 days, or you could just have it as like a one-time meal. Um, my favorite place to buy kitchery, because we're New Yorkers or wherever you are, if you're in a hurry, I don't have time to, you know, make the mustard seeds pop and and mull the rice and beans, and I have destroyed many kitchery meals. So thank God for Divya's Kitchen. She has a lovely restaurant in the East Village, but she also has two amazing cookbooks and she has a website, and you can get her things at you can get her kitchery packs at Whole Foods.
Mm.
And she's very um diligent, like she knows what's going into those spice packets. She keeps an eye on things. Like her kitchen is amazing. So you can go on her site and you can find the kitchery that works for you. You could try all three. So there's one that's soothing. So I would say the soothing one is for vata, and I think there's a calming one, or there's a there's a calming, there's a soothing that's for pitta, and then there's a invigorating one for kapha. But try all three. It's not like it's that drastic that it'll upset your gut. So, yeah, I love kitchery. I usually start doing a kitchery reset towards when we're in the thick of kapha. But if you wanted to start now, you could start now. And I guide people through the cleanse. So if anybody would like to reach out and they'd like a little support, I have a whole program that I can send you, and I'd be happy to coach you along. Um, and the other thing that you can do, if you didn't want to do kitchery, you can do like a 2-day In Ayurveda, and again, that word diet, but it's called diet. So you could do more of a liquid reset. So that would be a hearty soup for like your dinner and or like a lunch and your dinner meals. And then for breakfast, you could have your regular oatmeal or whatever you have for breakfast. But those two other meals are just giving your system a nice calm reset and to kindly cleanse. Yeah. So I I are you still with me, Peter? As long as it recorded. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. So how to get in touch with me? I work out of my home. My studio is here. When we do consultations, I make you tea. We sit together. We could also do Zoom. And you can reach me through my website, which is Hillabrant Holistics. My company is named after my great great grandmother because I feel all of the things that I learned holistically was from an ancestor or my great grandmother showed me some home remedy that was from the earth or yeah, something loving. So Hillabrant Holistics, and that's also my Instagram feed as well. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was such a pleasure, such a joy. I could sit and talk Ayurveda and nerd out with you for hours. So I'd love to come back soon when we're in the heat of Pitta because that is my dosha. So I'm always happy to support. And yes, I am in Brooklyn. Um, so thank you all for listening, and I'll speak with you soon. Peter, thank you. Namaste.